Ladies and gentlemen, it's a series. It's game 3 of this international qualifier for the Southeast Europe Championship. Different dimension taking on Instinct Esports. Both teams have showed up. Now it's come all back to this. A best of one, theoretically, between these two teams to decide who will make their way in, who will qualify for this championship. My name is Joshua Douse. Joining me is Jesper Benvarmeren, and we'll get into this picks and bans stage. Rise and nearly banned out, and have to see what the rest of these champions decided, because there's been some really instrumental picks so far during this series.
Yes. So we haven't been able to see Sir Diverlord's Rise again, and we haven't been able to see LNG's Nidalee, so it must have been good. And I love how different dimensions are banning out this year. That Punisher played really well in the last game. You obviously had to do this, and I hope so that they are also going to be banning out Echo, because he was such a huge part of that victory in the last game for Instinct Esports.
Yeah, Nero played a fantastic a fantastic Echo, I should say. Was able to stick to the back line of different dimensions and just take them out of the fight. So Echo will be the final ban by different dimensions. Goodbye to that one. Have to see which champion that Instinct Esports decide to prioritize here. They banned out the Nidalee, they banned out the Corki, the Lissandra, of course. Loloro's played such a good Lissandra in game 1, dominated Punisher in the lane, and was able to use that champion to their complete advantage. Now it's different dimensions' chance to pick up the first champion. Who do you think they're going to prioritize?
Well, I'd like to see them take something that can help them to get a little bit into the game, because last game were very slow scaling. So it could be Kindred or Graves would be really well for this, in my opinion. It would definitely allow them to have more of the early game aggression coming out. Gragas is also fine. He's not the best 1v1 skirmish jungler, but he's definitely fine when it comes to ganking.
Yeah, he's a great ganker and offers a lot to his team. Engage and disengage with the explosive casket. Is able to be a very tanky frontliner, and will be LNG playing this Gragas for the 3rd time in a row. Now over to Instinct Esports. Who are they going to prioritize? The Lucian was so good for Senpai last game, so much better than the Caitlyn that he played in the previous game. It is going to be that locked in Milhano on that Thresh as well. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what the bot lane for Instinct Esports have decided.
Yeah, just go for that again. You had a good showing in the last game. Punisher's Azir were taken away, but Senpai had a good showing on the the Lucian as well. So definitely you don't need to fix what's not broken, and just to wait and try and see what different dimension want to go for, because you can easily counter that as you had the last pick. You are in a good spot when it comes to be counter picking, and just wait and see what your opponent are going to be going for.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be the jungle pick, and the top lane pick most likely picked up now by Instinctive Esports. That's a Caitlyn and an Alistar locked in for this different dimension squad. The Caitlyn is one of Miracolo's good champions, and he didn't quite have the game that he wanted last game. Wasn't able to play very frontlining, I guess, because of the threat of Nero just sticking to him. And Alistar should help with that. The peel that comes from an Alistar is great. Also another engage tool for different dimensions. So I do like this Alistar pick for Hungry Panda.
And I definitely also like Alistar better than Janna, because it brings more playmaking potential to the team. Something that they really missed in the last game, where Janna, well, she was there to peel, but couldn't really do anything else. And I like this better, especially when you want to still go for Caitlyn, which is a slow scaling AD carry.
Yeah, it does make sense, but here's something that we haven't seen from Punisher. Gonna be a Orianna locked into the mid lane. I'm assuming that Aatrox is a is a placeholder champion, so we'll get confirmation of what the Aatrox is for you. But Orianna, another control mage for Punisher.
Yes, so it obviously most likely is going to be a placeholder. I'm not quite sure, but if we focus on Orianna, she is more or less the second best control mage in the meta right now. I haven't really been a huge fan of Orianna because I think she is so slow scaling, and you need to reach a 3 item power spike before you really start to become something very good. But it can work in this game.
Absolutely. Got confirmation that Aatrox is in fact a Rek'Sai pick for Nero. And, he played a decent net Rek'Sai in the semi-finals, and so we'll be going for it again. And that's a Soraka now picked up for the bot lane. Have to see what that Blitzcrank pick is for Lotteros. Unless, of course, Lotteros is a secret Blitzcrank mid lane. Might just go back to that Syndra. We'll find out real quick.
There we go. So yeah, so the lobby will be remade, and as you were saying, Rek'Sai going to be picked up by Nero. I do not mind that at all because he had a good showing on Rek'Sai in the first game, and I think that if you can do that again, then the Orianna pick won't be dominated too hard because you have that jungle pressure that can come out. So I actually really like that pickup. I'm still very sad that no teams today have been picking up Kindred.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Kindred as well, and so sad to see that one not coming through. So there's the Trundle in the top lane for Terrence. I found out that the Blitzcrank is in fact an Anivia in the mid lane, so that's going to be Lolaro's pick there. We see a Malphite in the top lane for Sir Dive-A-Lot. There's the Rek'Sai for Nero. Going to be an Orianna and a Lucian for Senpai and Punisher. And in the bot lane, a Alistair as well as the Caitlyn. So really nice team comp coming out of different dimensions. They take away that Trundle from Sir Dive-A-Lot. Had a lot of success on it, was able to be a big tanky pseudo tank, but it does worry me a little bit that the 2 tanks for this team for different dimensions are kind of these pseudo tanks. Alistair has the unbreakable will. That's how he becomes tanky. Trundle steals away the resistances from his opponent with the subjugate, so that's how he becomes tanky. So that does mean that different dimensions are kind of playing a slightly risky game. They do have that Gragas though to back them up.
Yes, and now as you can see, the 2 team compositions, again different dimension, are going for a little bit of a late game scaling team composition because you have the 2 carries in Nivea and Kaden who obviously want to be scaling for the late game, but you have the playmaking potential as well because you have Trundle. The subjugate will be strong in the early game, in the mid game, in the late game, anytime of the day. Gragas is also going to be strong. You have Alistair with the head buff and polarize, and he can even flash to make plays. So the playmaking potential are there, and so is it for the side of Instinct Esports because you have the ball delivery system, you have the strong bottom lane that also worked in the last game, and Nero is back on his Rek'Sai. Echo weren't able to be played, so just go for a safe pick.
Yeah, absolutely. The Rek'Sai, good pick for Nero. Not sure I want to see him building Phantom Dancer and Black Cleaver as his 3rd and his 4th item. But if Nero is able to become that tanky force alongside Sir Dive-A-Lot, could be a really good team composition for Instinctive Esports. Of course, this game is all to play for. Winner of this gets their qualified spot to the group stages of the Southeast Europe Championships. The loser of this will have a chance tomorrow to qualify in the 2nd international qualifier, but it's just so much easier to just qualify tonight and not have to worry about tomorrow.
It's always easier to do it than tomorrow. You should never postpone anything, just do it.
Just do it.
Well, what is Nike's motto? Isn't that just do it?
Shia LaBeouf, yeah.
Yeah, but what is Nike's? The
Nikes, just do it, of course, yeah.
Yeah, right? Yeah, so just do it. Just to win this game.
Sponsored by Nike.
Yes. I am a secret agent coming from Nike. I'm here to learn you also how to do it today.
Oh, wow. There you go. Benvarmeren, the secret Nike agent.
You should look at my feet. It's basically...
Don't want to look at your feet, Benvarmeren.
It's covered by Nike shoes. God damn it.
Oh dear, I'm sure it is, but back on track. Lolaro's on this Anivia. It's an interesting one. The Syndra was played alright in the early game, kind of fell behind a bit for Lolaro's. Have to see what he's able to do with this Anivia pick, because if I'm not mistaken, he's had quite a bit of experience on the Anivia. So it's another one of those control mages that Lolaro's could try and use to bring this series in his favor.
Yes, and again, the mid lane, it is a control mage against a control mage, and Orianna is arguably better in the late game because of her shockwave, but Anivia will be able to shove waves more in the early game, which will allow her team to buy more time, obviously. But there are just so much playmaking potential on the side of Instinct Esports that they really need to hard engage, or Anivia will just have more wave clear and have an easier time wave clearing with her ultimates, because she is such a control mage that just brings a lot of wave clear, basically.
Absolutely, guys. This is the final game of this series. Instinct Esports taking on different dimension, and the winner of this will qualify for the Southeast Europe Championship. Both these teams have played well. They've brought it back in this series, made it 1-1, and this third and final game will decide it all. Both these teams missed out last night in the National Greek Championship to qualify, weren't able to make it to the top 3, and so this is one of their final chances if they want to compete at this high level of League of Legends. And in fact, in the Greek National Championship, it was one of these teams losing out. I believe it was Different Dimensions who lost to Instinct Esports. So there's a bit of revenge wanted as well by these teams. You knocked me out in the quarterfinals. Different Dimensions, they want revenge.
Obviously they want revenge, and they got on a path to revenge in the first game, and then they lost the second game, so it's now or never if they have to get the revenge, and we'll have to see if they are able to have justice be called upon Instinct Esports.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to load onto the Rift and find out who will take it all home. Will it be Different Dimensions or Instinct Esports? We'll find out in 20 to 30 to 40 minutes to come. Hopefully not 40. A quick game's a good game, as they say. And it's going to be starting off now. Different Dimensions on the blue side. Instinct Esports on the red side. Only one team can do it. We'll have to find out who it's going to be.
I have never heard the saying... Sorry. I have never heard the saying that quick games are good games, but I've heard the saying that quick games are philo. And in this case, a free pass to getting into the next round of the Southeast European Championship.
There you go. That's definitely true. Punisher offering out a hug to the opposite enemy, and so Punisher and Lolaro's, they're gonna hug out until Lola has betrayed Orianna. It's a better story than Twilight, the story of two champions who hugged and then betrayed each other, and that was cute to watch.
It definitely were a better love story. Just showing a little bit of dominance. You know, make love, not war. Send a message, spread the love. Hashtag something like that.
Hashtag spread the love. Oh dear. So we're gonna see the top laners head on up to the top side camps, give their junglers a leash. These bot laners will once again take the bot lane camps as well. Neither team will get a level 2 advantage. These mid laners now for the epic 1v1 battle that is Orianna and Nivea.
Yeah, it's going to be epic to watch these two giants farm it out against each other, and Punisher is taking a little bit more damage, but not too much, and Orianna did get buffed in patch 6.6, where her command attack got buffed in terms of cost, so that it doesn't cost as much in the early game, which is obviously good if you want to trade against Nivea. Something I wouldn't recommend, because Nivea is a very, very damage heavy control mage once she lands one of her abilities and then followed up by an E.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is Lolaros who's currently winning the matchup just a little bit, able to land the frost, flash frost onto Orianna. Get the frostbite damage as well, the extra damage that comes from the passive. Here's Nero in the top lane, trying to find an early gank onto Tannerance, changing things up. So dive a lot going low. He's gonna have to flash away. The minions onto him aren't quite enough. First blood goes over to Nero.
Were he down to like 10 health? I'm not quite sure,
so
but
low.
Yes.
So low.
So he was very low, and it was very close for Tannis to actually get a kill there. A bit of a misplay, because he did have his ward up, so he could have warded up and made sure that he wouldn't be in any trouble at all. And it was a very, very easy gank for Nero, but definitely awesome to see him coming in and just picking up a kill, putting his team on the right path to victory. Instinct Esports, they don't want to let Different Dimension have their revenge.
Do you know what's so good about what just happened? In the first game and the second game, Nero and LNG have kept to this very strict pathing of camp, red buff, blue buff, obviously in the top lane, and then move on out. Nero changes it up. He gets a gank onto Terrence, because Terrence wasn't expecting it. He knew that Nero was going to be starting in the top lane, going to the red buff, and he assumed that he would then follow it up, go to the bot side of the jungle. But Terrence comes around. He actually ends up sacrificing his blue buff to LNG, who LNG capitalized off the fact that Nero was in the top lane. But Nero doesn't need a blue buff. He's Rek'Sai. He doesn't necessarily need the cooldown reduction. He's not going to get any mana regen, and because of that, early kill goes to him. He ends up blowing the summoner from Terrence on the second gank, which means that Nero has pretty much free reign to gank that lane wherever he wants.
So Mihailo were just forced to flash away. Here comes Nero, and I'm pretty sure Lolowus will be able to get away, but Mihailo were able to flash away from that headbutt and pulverized combo that came out of Hungry Panda. And right now, while there aren't a big goal lead, it is more or less Instinct Esports that are in the driving seat. They are the ones pulling the strings in this game, and are also farming best most of the places. In the bottom lane, it is Caitlyn that are ahead in terms of CS, but Lucian aren't far behind.
Yeah, Lucian's not too far behind. He's trying to keep up. He's got a bit of farm here. We'll be able to just equalize it to 3 CS if he's able to last hit those 2 creeps. And he is able to. So, not too far behind in the spot lane, but that summoner will be down on the Thresh for a little bit. Gives Hungry Panda a chance to try and be a little bit more aggressive onto this Thresh, because if Thresh does go in for a hook, he's not going to be able to get out. So Milihano has to play a little bit more passively, has to know that the engage that he's going for is good. Lolaros now with that Glacial Storm The Flash Frost and the Frostbite doing a lot of damage onto Punisher, whittling away this Orianna. But Command Protect does come out, tanks up a bit of the damage, and Punisher still in a good position, not too chunked out yet.
Now I love what Nero is doing after getting that first blood. He got the Skirmisher Saber, which means that he will have the challenging smite, where whenever he auto-attacks will be dealing some true damage after having smited his opponent. So I really like this because it complements some early game aggression that we could be seeing. Oh, actually Nero has to be careful because a lot of us just came back from base and definitely are packing a good punch if they are able to have their way with Nero, but he's able to get away. So, as I was saying, early game aggression is something that Nero is looking for and signaling with that Skirmisher Saber, but it's definitely not something you will find in the mid lane, despite that Shockwave now being ready to be used.
Yeah, it's going to let Punisher go back, pick up the Phoenix Codec. Lorelos will get a Catalyst of the Protector as well for themselves. Got that mana regen as well as the health that will come from it. Going to build into a Rod of Ages, of course. Now that Command Shockwave is available, I expect Nero to make his way mid. Maybe even Sir Dive-A-Lot, why not? And this is something that we haven't really talked about yet here, Benvarmeren. You've got this Malphite with the Unstoppable Force. You've got this Orianna with a Command Shockwave. This is the staple of a wombo combo ready to be made. So Dive-A-Lot takes the ball, Unstoppable Force is on, hits a couple, Orianna Shockwave hits a couple, Nero can then jump in with his Unburrow and knock up a couple as well. And all this time, Senpai and Mihalo will be having their way with the team. This is a really interesting team composition coming out of Instinctive, kind of going a bit old school with the classic wombo combo. And team fights could be extremely painful for different dimensions if they find themselves on the bad end of an engage.
You're definitely right about them going for a more old school wombo combo, and that's what I really like about the team composition, because they have so many... Oh, hang on a second, Nero's hanging around, he's just getting away. Anyways, they just have so many ways of playing around the team composition. They can pick people out of position, they can team fight, they can siege up and dive, so they have so many ways of playing around. And in this composition, I'm normally not a huge fan of Orianna, because, as I said in the pick and ban phase, she's very slow scaling. But I'm giving her the A+ in this game. I think she's going to do fine, as long as she's able to keep farming just as good as she's doing till now.
Yeah, absolutely. Benvarmeren's A+ of approval onto this Orianna. And have to see if Punisher is able to use the Command Shockwave and try and pull out a kill in the mid lane. It's been a very passive game, both these teams not wanting to overstep, not wanting to make a mistake that would lead to the opposition getting a kill. Oh, there we go, the hook onto Miracolo. A Flay as well, has to flash out of it as the culling came through from Senpai. Probably the first piece of aggression, apart from that headbutt pulverized combo from Hungry Panda that we've seen in a long time.
Talking about mistakes, there were one, and it might be another one, as there are no flash on Miracolo.
Here comes Nero as well. Unstoppable Force onto two, they knock them up. So Dive-A-Lot takes the kill. Now Hungry Panda in a bad spot. Terrence trying to keep his support alive. The Unbreakable Will doing a good job. So Dive-A-Lot is taking a beating, but here's Punisher and Toloros from the back. They stun him up and they get the kill. Terrence picks that one up. Now they're trying to engage the fight. Terrence onto the Shockwave command, but it is traded back. That's a double kill going over to the red side. Now Punisher locked up in the Glacial Storm. Nero gonna try and lock up Lorelos. Triple kill! What the hell did just happen? That is amazing! The explosive casket from LNG quadra kill for this Gragas. He comes out of nowhere with the runic echoes, the explosive casket, and he pulls out the most incredible ace I've ever seen.
What the hell, LNGD? He got a quadra kill. Oh my god, I don't understand. My mind cannot comprehend. And they're also going to be able to pick up a dragon, so 6% extra AD and AP. Oh my god, this couldn't be better.
Trying to work out what happened. I've rewind here, Benvarmeren, so if anything's happening in the future, you're gonna have to let me know. LNG is pinging that he's coming. He's got the runic echoes, and he just body slam flashes in, and then with the explosive casket, triple kill. Fantastic play on this Gragas. LNG is definitely a Gragas main. He knows exactly what he's doing. We've seen it time and time again. These body slam flashes from him have been on point, and he caught through with it. And then the explosive casket for good measure. Wow, LNG, you turned that fight around for your team.
I am loving this game. It is so close. Both teams, they don't even have a goal lead. It's so close. There's only like 200 gold at the moment. And Nivea is farming good. Caitlyn is farming good. Lucian, Oriana, everybody's farming good. This game is so close. And I cannot comprehend what is happening.
Well, LNG wants to make things happen again. Body slam onto Sir Diverlot, taking damage from the Rift Herald. Here comes Lolorose. Terrence will pick up the kill. Now Nero, you're in a bad place. Going to try and find the burrow, but he can't. He gets knocked up by the Ice Tomb. Actually, here comes Punisher. Nice shockwave will secure one. Nero's still trying to escape. Punisher locked up by the Frostbite. That's a double kill for Punisher and the Rift Herald whilst they're at it. Lorelow's trying to get this Oriana. He's going to get knocked up. No, flash away from Nero. Good play by Lorelow's, but a double kill over to Punisher. Rift Herald onto Nero. A misplay there by Different Dimensions. They got a nice little engage, but a good roam up from Punisher helps them out. They're going for more. The Unburrow on. Ignivio popped. That's going to be a dead bird, and Punisher should get the kill. Make that 3-1 and 2 on this Oriana. This game is explosive, and for something that started off so tame and mild, oh my goodness, the fuse has been lit.
So many kills are happening in this game, and both teams are getting the kills onto more or less the right people, because Gragas will be able to carry this early game for Different Dimensions, and then there is Oriana that will be able to reach her 3 item power spike faster with those 3 kills that she has. This game, I'm not quite sure we will see it end very fast if this continues, because it's very close. Both teams are definitely playing to their win conditions of just for Different Dimensions getting to late game, for Instant Esports playing with early game aggression.
Absolutely. This Oriana is now on fire. He's got the Chalice, the Athenes, Unholy Grail built. A nearly large rod as well, so a bit of extra AP. Rod of Ages is complete for this Anivia, quite early on as well. I have to see what LNG is able to do for his team. He's got himself the makings of a Locket of the Iron Solari after that big play in the bot lane. As you say, this game could go either way, but currently it's sitting in favor of Instinct Esports.
Yes, it is, and Instinct Esports, they do have that ball delivery system they can come back and rely on. They also have Lucian and Fresh, which is a strong bottom lane, so they have a lot of ways to play around. Whereas Different Dimensions, they have to be more careful, but hang on a second, here goes Fresh, not quite able to find what he was looking for though.
Yeah, he's actually just pushed Lorelow's off the turret, so Punisher's going to get a couple of auto attacks down. The empowered auto attacks from Oriana will do a bit of damage, so nice little play there by Nero, just forcing Lorelow's off the farm, off the turret, and that's helped Punisher get even further ahead of this Nivea. Currently got a 35 CS lead in the mid lane. Not something you see very often, that a mid laner gets that far ahead, but Punisher is doing well, and he's punishing. Now Nero trying to push Lorelow's off. A flash Unburrow. I think this is a little bit dangerous by Nero, because the blue buff was on Lorelow's. It's just come out. That means LNG is around the corner in the top lane. So Diverlot and Terrence having a bit of a wet noodle fight. Nero was able to escape. So Diverlot under the turret. Subjugate is ticking. That's going to do damage over time. Terrence is going to get the health back as well. Flash away by Muranon. A flash body slam onto Punisher. And a headbutt pulverize comes through. Shutdown for Lorelow's. Now they're going to get onto this mid lane turret. Terrence is in trouble. as he has to flash away from the unstoppable force. But this is a turret going down the mid lane. This game is so chaotic at this moment, Benvarmeren.
It is very, very chaotic indeed, and it is so weird and so really weird, because it seems like Instant Esports are in the driving seat, but then different dimensions are able to find a tower in the mid lane. So it's so close while looking not that close, and it's really, really weird. And I don't know what to say. My words have just disappeared from me, because this game, it's really delivering up to all the hype that there is coming for it.
This is the finals of finals right now, Benvarmeren. Both these teams want it so bad they can almost taste it. Only one person's going to get the cake, and the cake is definitely not a lie in this instance. Punisher 3-2-2. LNG 4-1-2. These are the guys to keep your eyes on, the ones that are making the plays in this game. There is a 1k gold difference between these two teams. It's not much, it's something, but it means that both these teams are in it to win it. They both have a chance at this moment.
They definitely both have a chance, and now with the second dragon just coming up, it is Instinct Esports that are onto it already, and we might see a fight coming out, but there needs to be some teleports coming in very soon from different dimensions if they want to do so. Just dragging the dragon out, and this is going to be the dragon for Instant Esports. Very well played by them. They were able to just drag out the dragon and make sure that no steal could come in from LNG.
Yeah, it was a nice little place. Drag it out means that it's very hard for the jungler to steal it. Energy didn't have his flash available, so didn't want to risk it. That is a turret going out in the top lane that equalizes the gold. Only 100 in it now. Looks like Instinct Esports, they want to try and put some pressure on this mid lane turret, but different dimensions. They've found the rotation, and they're able to match it. Now Nero's going to go up to the top lane and protect his turret. This is a good time for different dimensions to make something happen, because teleport is on Tannerance, so they can try and maybe catch out Instinct Esports, especially if Instinct Esports decides to continue trying to pressure down this turret in the mid lane.
I am very confused.
Oh,
wait, actually, hello!
Yeah, that's the Hawk. There's the Unstoppable Force. There's the Shockwave. And Hybrid Panther is going to try and keep Lorelos alive, but an Egnivia cannot go anywhere. They fall. Punisher gets the kill. Tannerance is here, trying to do stuff on the backline. Nero looking for an Umbo. They're going to go into LNG. He's caught out a little bit. Hook onto Hungry Panda. And it's going to be huge. There's the Explosive Cascade. It gets one, it gets two. It's a bit of a clown fiesta in the mid lane, as it's currently a 1-for-2 in favor of different dimensions. Looks like they're going to have to back away from this turret though. Punisher wants it. The Shockwave command goes out. Attack. Now Terrence onto this Orianna. No mana. I think Punisher will fall. He's going to go over the Rift Herald area. That's a movement speed for these two guys. Can Punisher escape? Slow comes through. Going to go down. Tannerance picks up the kill. That's a Rift Herald going down as well, so different dimensions not able to take that one out, as Baron will join us on the Rift very shortly. But a 1-for-3 in the end, definitely in favor of different dimensions.
Yes, and the game, this shows how close this game is. We had a 1k goal lead for Instinct Esports just a little while ago, and now it is a 1k goal lead for different dimensions, so a very, very close game, and I'm a bit surprised we haven't seen more double teleport plays being made, because there is a double teleport on the side of both the two teams, so I would have loved to see more double teleports. For example, you could have sent both the mid laners to their respective bottom lane, and then have top laners in the top lane or vice versa, which would allow you to really utilize that the fact that you have two teleports. And that is something that we haven't seen, which I'm a bit sad we haven't. But for different dimensions, this game is looking good, because they are the late scaling team. Obviously, they're also late game scaling on the side of Instinct Esports, but I just feel like the late game scaling for different dimensions is better because you have a Nivea and you have Caitlyn, which are some, per definition, late game hyper carries.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, this game could go either way. I don't think late game necessarily one team has the advantage. The all-out team fight, that instinctive, makes up for maybe their lack of raw damage on these champions. Both in Nivea and Orianna late game, it's not necessarily one, depending on the lane, the phase the game's in. More, which team can make their team composition work, which team can pull the trigger faster. You know, did I shoot 5 shots or 6 shots? Are you feeling lucky, kid?
That is the... Oh, wait, Hungry Panda... He doesn't care about that hook. He can always break... He can always use Unbreakable Will if he gets caught out position, so... In the end, it doesn't really matter, but... Even the tanks are starting to get very tanky, so Diamond... Oh, wait, Flash! Pulver! Sorry,
yeah, and there's the kill onto Punisher. LNG punishes him. They're going to go on to Senpai. Mihaliano having to flash away. Unstoppable Force available for Sir Divalot, but with Punisher down before a Shockwave is even able to be used, Instinct have to run away, especially when Senpai is that low. In a turret in the mid lane, going to be forced out by distinct, different dimensions. They're going to look for an inhibitor turret as well if they can. Have to be careful though, this could be the engage coming out of Sir Divalot, but the turret does fall. Now they're going to try and hand engage onto Sir Divalot themselves. A hook onto Terrence. He doesn't care, he's Trundle. He's going to walk away onto this inhibitor now, trying to chunk it out before Punisher gets in position for a shockwave. They know they can't, so they're going to disengage. This might be the re-engage coming out of Instinct. They're looking for it. Kolo has to flash away from that hook. Not in the right position, but here comes Sir Divalot. Can he find an engage with that Unstoppable Force? He wants it. He doesn't quite have flash available. Body slam onto him. They're going to turn it around. There it is. And the shockwave onto 3 on the back line. And they're going to take out Mercorolo, but they get Mihaliano in the return. Hyper Panda will fall. LNG goes low as well. It's a 2-for-1 at the moment. And Terrence wants more. I don't know why different dimensions think they can win this, but for some reason they do. And they're going to go on to Punisher. It's a 4v3. They lock up Punisher. Lorolos flashes forward, but not able to do the damage. LNG onto Divalot. He's still not got the damage. Lorolos with that wall, trying to lock them up. He stuns up Divalot, and that is the kill. Make it a 2-for-2. Now it's Instinct running away, tails between their legs. Terrence is trying to get there. He gets it with the Ice Pillar. Senpai is locked up, and Lorolos will find the kill. A 3-for-2. That's the inhibitor in the mid lane. Now gonna go down as Punisher makes his way round. Actually, LNG goes extremely low. Too low. Ignite onto him. That will be LNG falling. A 3-for-3. The healing not quite enough. Shutdown gold going over to Instinct, but the inhibitor does fall in the end. And that is different dimensions with a 3k gold lead. This game is so close, but different dimensions want it more.
Different dimensions with that 3k gold lead are also on the way to victory and getting their revenge. So good for them. They are playing really well, and they played those 2 fights really good as well. And Lololos, he knows how much he can take, how much damage he can come out with on that Anivir pick. It's so awesome to see, and we can definitely say that he knows how to play Anivir. It's excellent. He plays her excellent. And then there's LNG on that Gragas. He's really doing a great job at being a huge factor in this game, I must say.
Well, that's the second dragon going over to Instinct Esports. A bit of extra damage to turrets with their auto attacks. Can't do them any harm. They've picked up 2 turrets as well. The minion waves pushed in their favors, and that's a bit of extra gold to their piggy bank. They bring the gold lead down to just 1.5k. Considering that it was 3k just a minute ago, that's not bad going. But super minions are now going to start spawning. in the mid lane, as Tannerant's actually chunking out this bot lane turret. Should secure that one quite easily. Has to be careful though, because it looks like Instinct Esports are rotating. Now they're going to give up the rotate because they've just noticed who's in the top lane. Lolaros is. It's finally different dimensions using the double TP to their advantage. They've set up the 1v1, which makes sense considering they've got super minions in the mid lane, and now they're trying to put the pressure onto Instinct Esports, force them to react to their plays. That's going to be an inner turret falling, and that is 2 turrets in quick succession. It's now definitely a 3k gold lead for this team. And Tannerant, he's still in this bot lane. He's looking for a kill onto this inner turret. And look at Instinct Esports. They're just being dragged around the map like puppets. Baron being pinged out by different dimensions. They're wanting to try and make something happen with this split push that they've got going. Grouping up in the top lane now. Looks like they might be able to put pressure onto this inhibitor turret whilst Punisher tries to deal with Tannerant in the bot lane. Here we go. They're going to get the auto attack onto it. And I think they're just going to back away instantly. They spotted a flank coming away from Sir Diverlot. You do not want to risk an unstoppable force from the side. But with Punisher heading to the mid lane, this is a opportunity for Tannerant to get this inner turret. So Diverlot will make his way over. Teleport is available now for Tannerant, so if things go badly, he can get to a fight. The rest of his team recalling, this is going to mean Tannerant has to recall as well. So they will leave it at that, a nice little 1-3-1 coming out from different dimensions. They're trying to take control of this game, make those proactive moves, and Instinct Esports are left having to react.
And, well, as you were saying, it's so refreshing to finally see different dimensions utilize their double teleport. And it is in a good moment that they start to do so, because, as you said, super minions were pushing the mid lane, and Trundle can just push the bottom lane, because you will have to send Malphite there, and he can 1v1 Malphite if he wants to do so. However, I like what different dimensions are doing right now. They're setting up for Baron. They are putting out some vision as well. And Thanos can just stay in the bottom lane because he has the teleport. You don't need him at the moment. You don't need him to the Baron dance. If you can get a tower, then that is amazing. If you can get more, then that's better. And now he will have to teleport.
Yeah, he's a gauge onto Lorelos. He hasn't fallen yet. He locks up 2. An explosive casket splits up the fight, but Lorelos is going to get ignited. There's the teleport coming out from Tannerant. It might be too late. Shockwave will secure the kill onto Lorelos. Now Tannerant is in the backline. Subjugate onto the tanky members. They go onto Sir Diverlot. They pick up a kill. Trying to get onto Senpai. He will fall as well. Nero will be the next target. This Rek'Sai gonna fall before Hyper Panda goes. Miracolo gets Punisher. That's an ace for distinctive different dimensions. They can now march up the mid lane if they wish to and try and finish off this game, but in fact they're going to turn onto this Baron, secure the big purple worm for themselves, and with the 5 almost 10k gold lead they'll have once this Baron falls. This is huge for them. Inhibitor has spawned in the mid lane. There is a ZZ Rock pushing the top wave up for Instinct Gaming. It should be dealt with very quickly as different dimensions get the ace and a Baron.
That's very well played by different dimensions. They really played that very well. I had my doubts when the fight started because Thanos took a long time before teleporting in, but it ended up really well for them, only giving up a kill onto Lullivers. So it's good for them. They also got the Baron now, so they're 1-4 push, if they just send Lullivers to the top lane, would be so much better, and they can pick up the inhibitor in the mid lane as well. This game is really on a path to victory for different dimensions, and I'm afraid that at the moment there's really nothing that Instinct Esports can do unless they land a good ball delivery system with a good unstoppable force.
And that was the problem in the previous team fight, because the Unstoppable Force and the Shockwave were literally only used on Lorelos. No one else took any damage from those 2 ultimates. So Instinct have this wombo combo that they didn't utilize. They used it to blow up one member, and with those 2 key ultimates down, it gave different dimensions a beautiful moment to try and make something happen. Teleport used by Lorelos. Don't like that teleport, but it doesn't really matter. They're going to start pushing up this top lane, try and get another inhibitor down, maybe send Terrence to the bot lane. He doesn't have teleport up, so it would be a risky 1-for-1 for this 2 team, especially if Sir Divelot does decide to stick around. He has got a flank. He will get spotted out by a ward here. So Divelot is looking for this engage, and it will be Instinct trying to get it. Oh, a fail flank on the spot by mistake by Sir Divelot. He gets locked up. He misses his unstoppable force, but there's the shockwave onto Tube. But that is what Tilt is made of. Loleros gets Sir Divelot. This could be the end of the game as they get a second kill for themselves. The ace in the hole onto Nero, and body slam flash onto Punisher. He will fall shortly. If they're able to get a little bit more damage, they will. Punisher goes down. Lorelos gets the kill. The stun onto Senpai. Double kill for this, and Nivea, a fail flash, a fail unstoppable force. What a disastrous way to lose this game as they're going to go onto this inhibitor in the bot lane. A pause coming out from the team. Not quite sure why they decided to pause that one. It will be unpaused, but that is going to be the game coming out soon. Be win, I believe, by this team. It's still paused for me. I'm not sure. Is it paused for you as well, Benvarmeren?
It is stuck on 1 second. I am not quite sure why. Maybe the game has ended. I'm not quite sure. Weird, but I guess we can conclude that Different Dimension they won.
Absolutely. There's almost no way that they haven't won this game. We'll just double check real quick in the log client, and yeah, in fact, the game has ended. GG well played to Different Dimensions. They take the game, they win it. And that is a really sad way to lose the game if you're in Instinct Esports. You were doing well, but just fail usage of the wombo combo meant that they did fall behind. And Different Dimensions will secure that spot into the group stages of the Southeast Europe Championship. For Instinct Esports, they have a second opportunity tomorrow in the second international qualifier, but they'll have to go through the gauntlet again, go through the wars if they want to qualify.
Yes, so that is going to be all from Dowsy and I today. Congratulations to Different Dimensions for winning this qualifier. Thanks very much to Dowsy for joining me today on my stream. And you should know that if you want to know more about the news about me or my co-caster, you can always find me over follow me on Twitch, and you can find us over on the social medias. We'll make sure that our Twitter links will be in the Twitch chat very soon. So on behalf of my co-caster and I thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next broadcast.
See you guys. Well, that was an